I can get
Hello,
behind it.
everyone. This is Sandbox, brought to you by Blurry Background Jamie and Lens Flare Jack.
Yeah, I'm more cinematic.
And today we are going to be talking a little bit about games, a little bit
Yeah,
about movies. Do you watch a movie?
TV shows.
Bit of TV,
I can hit
bit of
you with those.
TV, and
Yeah,
a bit of movies from my end actually.
yeah. I haven't watched any movies in a while, actually. It's not great.
But that's fantastic. But first, we need to talk about well, before we talk about what is relevant in the gaming sphere,
Yeah.
I'm just going to pop open a bubbly. Um, this is just to let you all know. I'm having a very funny looking beer. It's like
Oh,
it's just kind of like super old fashioned looking.
fair.
They've like most of the label is just covered with what awards they've earned. So better be good.
There's no like ingredients
It has
or anything.
sweet gale. I don't know what gale is,
A woman?
and coriander.
Fair.
um,
It sounds delicious.
originally founded in 1132, Corb Abbey is home to a community of Benedictine monks. The
Ah,
Benedictine way of life is one of devotion to prayer, work, and hospitality, and apparently creating booze. The abbey grounds are
very
cultivated by
old
monks
timey.
to grow a bountiful supply of fresh food for their own sustenance and to share with the local community. Abbey beers have been brewed by monks for centuries, utilizing locally grown herbs, malt, and barley. Pour Abbey Ale is brewed to capture the essence of these traditional Abbey beers and uses coriander and sweet gale grown in the Abbey's own gardens. Now you're telling me that
Well,
sounds pretty damn good, right?
what a description. I mean, it better be good. They've had like 1,000 years of
They've had a
practice.
lot of practice.
Or let us know. I actually don't have a drink. However, I did forget to mention yesterday what I was drinking when we were watching the Cyberpunk live stream. Uh, I drank vodka and Welch's purple grape juice because I didn't have
That's a
any
bit
mixer.
weird.
Other grape juice is available. It was, it just tasted like grape juice with maybe a slight hint of vodka, but it was very good. I'm a big old fan of grape juice.
Grape juice is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's my fun ale.
The ale I'm drinking, I can confirm, it's
Yeah,
delicious.
that's
It's
good.
absolutely delicious.
Good stuff.
So, the first thing we're going to talk about today,
Yeah,
which is going to cover most of the news segment of the podcast,
yeah,
is going to be a Capcom leak that happened
yeah.
this week. Very sad, actually, because the leak, which it was obviously like some sort of virus or something that an employee downloaded or something like that,
Yeah.
and it leaked their name alongside it as well,
What, the
which is
employees?
the employee, which is really
Oh,
sad
that's rough.
because he's going to get told off for that.
Or sacked.
Yep.
He clicked on
Mm.
like, click here for big boobies. And he was like, don't mind if I do. And then the whole company got leaked.
It's actually like pretty major as well. So let's dig into this.
I
Um,
haven't heard anything about it, to be honest, other than you mentioning it to me.
it is actually quite major.
Run
So
me through.
I'm gonna. It's basically it's it's not obviously this is all technically not confirmed or it is a real leak. It
Mm,
is real, but the nature of the leak is that it's a list of game titles that are coming out
okay.
and a rough date as to when they're going to launch.
Okay.
Uh
That's quite a lot of information then. It's not just
yeah,
potential projects or anything.
they're all releasing within the next 4 years. So we're talking. This is a big old list here,
Yeah.
um, and it's very exciting. So the first one on the list is Resident Evil Outbreak,
Yeah.
which is scheduled for Q4 2021. Um, So I think we should kind of some of these. I mean, most of these are really clear what they are. But
Hmm.
what do you reckon Resident Evil Outbreak is going to be?
Well, I see here there's a mention of a Resident Evil 4 remake. Is that is
That's on
that
the
the
list.
name you are?
That's a separate one on the list.
That's separate. Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if they were calling Resident Evil 4 Resident Evil Outbreak.
No.
I
So,
don't know. Can there be another original Resident Evil game out that quick?
well, so we've got Resident Evil 8 Edge is coming out in January, I believe.
Yeah, they can't do two in a year, surely.
So I think it's it might be like a multiplayer spin-off. Like
Wait, Resident Evil Outbreak is a game from 2003.
is it really?
It is.
I didn't know that. That's embarrassing, isn't it?
So it's probably another remake.
But what is Outbreak? I bet
It's
it's
set during the same time period as Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3.
Resident Evil Outbreak. What is
Interesting.
this? Why haven't I heard of this before?
I haven't heard of it.
Resident Evil Outbreak.
I don't know
Oh,
much
oh
about.
well, oh, there we go. Resident Evil Outbreak is a survival horror video game with online capability for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
So it probably it's an online multiplayer spin-off.
it's the first one to feature co-op gameplay and online multiplayer support.
So the considering that the rest of there's also Resident Evil 4 remake on the
Yeah.
list. Now they've actually written Resident Evil 4 remake. It's not just Resident Evil 4. So
Mm.
the fact that there's no remake in this title suggests that it's the same name
Yeah,
with a
that's
similar
interesting.
concept
A
but a different
reboot.
game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that's some good theory crafting there.
I multiplayer Resident Evil sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, a new one.
It's pretty hype.
Very interesting then.
So much Resident Evil. Like,
Yeah, they're really
man.
pushing it lately. Since what was it? 7?
But no, so 7 came out in um, uh, I can tell you when it came out. It came out in
3 or 4 years ago.
2016, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
I blindly believe that.
and then a couple of years later, they released Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019.
Oh my god, no, it's 2017.
Okay, 2017.
That's crazy. I thought it was older.
I know I remember playing it in second year at uni, so I was trying to work it out.
Hmm.
Um, Resident Evil 3 remake came out last year,
Yeah.
and next year is Resident Evil 8 Edge.
Hmm.
And so now we've got Resident Evil Outbreak in the same year, and then Resident Evil 4 remake the year after.
Yeah,
And
they're already going.
according to this list, there's two more. So
They're really going for it.
I'm going to go down in the dates they're coming out. So
Yeah.
the next game on the list, which I'm really excited for,
Yeah.
is
Is 8?
Dragon's Dogma 2,
Oh, okay.
coming out Q2 2022.
Yeah.
Mm, never played the original, and
This
it
is why you're so
looks
excited for this one.
because the original looks really cool,
Okay.
and it's a game that I definitely could just play on Steam right now. But
Yeah.
it's also kind of old. It's a PS3 game, and so
Okay.
it looks like it's kind of potentially aged a little bit.
Maybe best to wait for the sequel.
Exactly. It's really
Yeah,
cool
it
though.
looks a little bit aged.
It's a cool game. It has like a really cool concept of like I haven't played it, but it's pretty complicated. There's a lot to it. It looks really cool.
Yeah. It looks fun.
It's a game that I remember reading about. Um, I was too young and I couldn't afford to buy it. It was a solid 8 out of 10 game, which has since gone on to get like a cult status.
It had an MMO in 2015.
What?
released for PS3, PS4, and Windows, but it was shut down last year.
What?
Yeah,
How weird.
I feel like that
Huh.
wasn't well marketed.
No.
I didn't have enough people playing it.
I mean, it only lasted a few years. So wow, I never heard
Yeah,
of that before. How funny.
it's pretty sad because it looks like a pretty cool world.
The Dragon's Dogma is on Switch as well. They ported it to Switch.
Hmm.
I feel like if I'm going to play the game, I'd like to play it on Switch actually.
Yeah,
Uh, anyway,
fair dues.
the the next game on the
Yeah,
list uh, is Street Fighter 6
yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Q3 2022.
Yeah,
Now, this is a strange one because Capcom have said that they are releasing DLC for Street Fighter 5 next
yeah.
year. So, are we to believe that they're going to be supporting Street Fighter 5 and then releasing some characters for it and then going, hey, think about competitive tournaments here. Like,
Hmm.
hey, sorry guys, I know you like that character, but we've got a whole new game for you to play now. Move
Yeah, that's a
along.
very strange move. Very interesting.
I absolutely adored Street Fighter
Street
4.
Fighter 5. Oh, 4.
And Street Fighter 5 was a terrible game on
Oh,
launch.
was it really?
Yeah, on launch. And it took them a long time, but by the time they had fixed it,
Yeah.
not only not only was some of that fixing due to paid DLC,
Oof.
um, it was also kind of like I don't know. I wasn't really. I lost interest in it by the time it
Yeah,
was considered to be good.
that'll be
Uh,
old news.
so
Oh, that's funny. I don't remember it being that way.
they released it, and it had like a tiny handful of characters. It
Hmm.
had no arcade mode. The online was really buggy,
That's pretty
and
rough.
the they were already like gearing up for like tons of microtransactions,
Yeah.
DLC, really expensive DLC as well, and it was basically just
Oh,
an absolute mess. Uh,
bad stuff.
and the game, as it is right now, has adverts in the loading screens.
Oh, that's so bad. How have I not
So,
heard about that? You would have thought that would be quite a big controversy.
so it adverts for itself for
Yeah.
DLC, but every
Okay, so
time you
at least it's
start a
not.
match, though, you start a match and it says buy this.
Yeah, that is really annoying. At least it's not The Boys season 2, but that's still pretty bad.
Yeah, that the boys season 2 is evidently worse, but I don't want to have any. I want to be immersed in the game, man. I don't want to have
Yeah,
any adverts.
it's a weird choice. 8-year gap between 4 and 5.
8 years.
Mm,
That's I didn't really think about that, but are you aware of how many versions of Street Fighter 4 there are?
no?
Don't look it up because I'm going to name it for you.
Okay.
We've got Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
We've got Super Street Fighter 4,
Yeah.
which added like a lot of characters.
Yeah.
We've got Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, which
Yeah.
added like 4 characters. We've got
Okay.
we got no Ultra Street Fighter 4, which added a handful of more characters.
Yeah.
I think I think that's it. So we've got I think 4 versions of Street Fighter 4 came out.
You end up
Um,
with a huge roster.
yeah, but the problem was that they weren't DLC. Uh, so
Well, they were just new games.
so Super Street Fighter was a new game, and
Hmm.
then Arcade Edition was a paid upgrade. But then
Okay.
Ultra Street Fighter was a new game.
Hmm.
So I bought the arcade edition as an expansion, but then they released Ultra, and it's like I'm not buying the game again,
You end up owning like 50 copies.
right?
Did the characters get really obscure?
Mm. No,
It's
they
like
don't actually because
Frogman.
no, they don't. They actually add well. So the ultra version they add like fan favorites from old games,
Yeah.
but um, the arcade edition's really funny because it's just kind of BS characters. So they add evil Ryu, which is just Ryu,
Oh, that's a
but
cop out.
like red, and
Yeah.
then Oni, who is essentially just evil Akuma. It's the same character, just blue.
And then I know is evil Oni.
And then they had two other characters, but they're really kind of boring.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it wasn't great.
That kind of sucks.
I was really into the game at that time though, so I bought it anyway.
Fair.
Um,
And now a new one soon.
hey, if they, I was so hyped for Street Fighter Five, but
Yeah.
when they were saying stuff, you go from Street Fighter Four, which had like 50 characters in it,
Hmm.
to oh yeah, Street Fighter Five has like 8 characters. Like
Yeah.
that's
Actually, no, I think I do remember that happening.
such a downgrade.
Yeah, because it's like even if the game plays so much better, it just feels worse not having as many characters. Like, I
they
want to play
also
as different people.
they also simplified the gameplay in a few ways as well, which
Well,
it
yeah, then that just
is
makes it quite a lot.
altogether not appealing for 50 quid, you know?
Yeah,
uh,
you need that. You need enough
Also,
replayability.
the problem was that at the time when it came out, you
Mm,
had Mortal Kombat X,
mm,
which and Injustice, and both
yeah,
those games were beautiful, had
yeah.
destructible environments, had tons of characters, and then you have Street Fighter
And a
Five,
pretty cool
which
story.
it was like a very very simple, just it's Street Fighter 4 again, but with
Yeah.
less characters, and it's kind of better looking ish.
Mm,
Bit weird.
yeah. Injustice, I've really enjoyed.
I really, really liked it. Yeah,
Like, I'm not a big fighting game person, but I really enjoyed Injustice.
the super moves in Injustice were
Mm.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of like exactly what I like in a fighting game.
Yeah,
It was kind of exactly what I wanted.
I
Yeah,
think I need that too. You know, like I need to have super ultra combos because they're so
yeah,
fun. They're just so fun.
and also it helps that I like just know the characters far better.
Yes,
Like Street Fighter, obviously, Ryu and Cammy and I don't know Dudley, just
Guile.
random characters.
Yeah,
But it's not the same as like, oh, I can play as Batman and the Flash and blah blah blah.
I know we've been talking about this for an awfully long time.
Yeah,
Um, but I do just want to draw attention to a game that's coming out next year,
go
um,
for it.
which originally was only coming out on PlayStation, and then
Mm,
it's now on PC as well.
mm.
And it's Guilty Gear Strive,
Ooh, that's
and
right
I
up your street.
just it looks so good. It's like the most incredibly good looking. It's like it is the best looking fighting game in my opinion ever made. It's so cool. Um,
Yeah, it does look really cool. Oh, that creepy ass guy. What's his name?
Faust,
Yeah, Faust.
yeah, Faust is back. Uh,
He's really cool. A lot of them are. They've got really good design.
Faust, Faust's theme in this game is
Mm,
just because so the whole game is heavy metal to it's like a joke really. It's like
yeah,
it's
like
comedy metal.
corny
Um,
almost.
it is very corny,
Yeah,
and Faust's theme is just so over the top and just like in your face to an obnoxious degree. And I just
yeah.
want to play as Faust just so that I can have his theme blasting out. It's so good.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a high budget anime movie.
Yeah, it looks genuinely better than basically all anime that I've seen, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it's incredible.
beautiful environments, great character design, smooth animation. Yeah, it's hype stuff.
Anyway,
It's the perfect recipe for Jamie's favorite game.
it really is. The only thing is, um, due to COVID, I'm just going to be playing it on my own. I hope there's
That's
crossplay
okay.
because there's one person I know who I will be able to play with online.
Yeah,
Big Naz. Uh,
Big Naz
you
runs
get
up
it.
his street too.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to the list.
Go back to the list.
Uh,
Just think you can play these games with your friends in 3 years when COVID's done.
let's not. Oh God, let's not.
What other Capcom leaks do we have?
Uh, we're not even halfway through, by the way, so we should probably
Okay, should
hurry
we
up a
just
little bit.
power through? I can see there's
Well,
Power Stone.
the next one I have no interest in talking about particularly. I don't know if you do. It's just
Yeah.
it's called Mega Man. Mega Man Match. It's just another Mega Man game, I guess.
Is it
It
is it a
says
matching game?
well, it's this match, so I'm assuming it must be. And then we've got Resident Evil 4 remake,
Yeah,
which is really exciting. I'm definitely going to play that.
to be expected.
Here's another one which I'm going to have an interlude in. Monster Hunter 6,
Oh, okay.
which is very interesting
Yeah,
because Monster Hunter 5 was on 3DS and it was later ported to Switch. And
yeah.
then they released Monster Hunter World,
Mm,
which was the really big budget, everyone loved it game.
yeah.
And then they released now, and they're going to release on the Switch uh, another Monster Hunter, which name's now the one from my head. Uh, Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay.
And now on this list, it says Monster Hunter 6, which means it's going to go back to the original format.
Interesting. Wait, so are you thinking Monster Hunter 6 is Monster Hunter Rise?
No, because Rise. Well, I mean, no, because Rise comes out. This says 2023. Rise comes
Oh,
out like
okay.
I think next year. So
Okay.
uh, it's a bit weird because they stopped doing numbers and now they've gone back to numbers, but they've ignored the last two games.
Yeah. So they're
Very
not going to have
weird.
another big one like Monster Hunter World, surely.
Not yet, anyway, which is very surprising considering this
Did
game
really
comes out
well.
in well, not really 3 years, like 2.5 years time, according to them.
Yeah.
Bit weird. Um,
Yeah, very interesting.
I thought they would have done another expansion personally for
Yeah.
World, but I think it's been a bit too long, really.
Yeah, it has been a long lost time now.
The next game, I'm just gonna power through them, is
Power Stone.
um, actually it's Biohazard Apocalypse, which
Do you know what that is?
Biohazard is the American or Japanese, I think it's Japanese, um, title for
Oh,
Resident
Resident
Evil.
Evil.
So another Resident Evil game.
Oh, Resident Evil Apocalypse is the name of the 2004 movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
Again,
is it a game
again,
based on the movie?
this is just a leak, and it might not be real.
Interesting.
And then we've got uh, this is contentious. So this is Super Street Fighter 6,
Okay.
like wonderful. So they're already planning to re-release the game a year
Game that hasn't
after.
been released yet.
Um,
Okay.
Final Fight
Yeah,
remake,
I
four
know
years
Final
time.
Fight.
Who knows? Power Stone. I have no idea what Power Stone
Power
is.
Stone, I've been waiting for you to mention. For no reason other than everyone seems more excited by Power Stone than anything else. I've never heard of Power Stone. It's an arena fighting game. Cool. Moving on.
Yeah, I have no idea what Power Stone is. Um,
It's
the
one of
next
the 6 Infinity Stones, according to Wikipedia.
the next one's gonna make you cringe.
Oh, is it
Ultra Street
Legacy
Fighter
Barry?
6.
What was it?
Ultra Street Fighter 6?
God's sake. You're kidding me.
No.
Uber Street Fighter 6 next.
It's I don't know at this point. I really don't believe the list because Super Street Fighter 4 came
Hmm.
out like I mean I'm gonna have to check this, but it didn't come out that much longer after.
Street Fighter 4 was 2008.
Okay, so Super Street Fighter 4 came out in 2010.
Okay, 2
So
years off.
that was a 2 year gap. And then
Yeah.
Ultra Street Fighter 4 came out like 4 years later or something.
Yeah, 2012-ish.
So I don't know. I don't believe that. A
Yeah, that's
year
getting a bit.
after,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
and
We'll
then
see.
the final game on this list, which
Mm.
I don't even know anymore. At this point, they could just be trolling us, the leaker, because this is just like bizarre. Resident Evil Hunk.
Resident Evil Hunk?
Yeah.
You sure it doesn't say Hunt?
No, Hunk is the name of a character in Resident Evil.
Who's Hunk?
Hunk's the guy in the mask. He's like a military.
Oh, I know him.
Um,
I didn't know his name was Hunk.
so there we go.
He's getting his own game.
Resident Evil Hunk. The really funny thing is though, the actual. So I've translated it, but the
Yeah.
actual leak, they wrote Resident Evil Hang, which is hilarious.
Wait, what do you mean you translated it?
Well, so the actual leak says Hank, but the website that I got this information from then says it's it's probably not Hank. It's probably actually Hunk.
Oh, I
Since
really hope it's Hank and it's
Hank,
just some.
it's just
It's like.
you've played as Jill Valentine. You've played as Chris Redfield, but now
Is Chris's neighbor Hank?
the
Just a
ordinary
guy
guy.
with big old glasses.
And it's just like this guy. Well, hey,
Boy, it sure is raining a lot lately. Oh, that's really funny.
raining in blood.
He's walking along with his briefcase, and then Mr. X just slams through wall, grabs his face.
And then it just comes up Resident Evil, and then it has like it's like some Roman numeral Ang.
Oh man, that's so dumb.
Okay, so that's that. That's it.
Like that. And that's the news.
There's two more very small things I want to bring up.
Go for it.
IO Interactive, who make Hitman.
Yeah.
This is not a leak. This is real.
Yeah.
They've actually announced this. They're making a James Bond game.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Do we
That's
know
it.
anything about it?
There's nothing about it. It's literally they just announced that that's what they're working on next.
It's just a GoldenEye remake.
Hitman 3 isn't even out yet. But
Yeah, I feel like that's a good company to give that to.
it's perfect. It's such a
Yeah.
good idea. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
That's cool. I'm interested in that.
And I feel hopeful that they're going to go for a more classic, cheesy Bond
Yeah.
take. Considering Hitman is kind of a bit absurd with all the like costumes and
Yeah, it's a bit campy.
yeah.
Yeah, that could be fun. Like GoldenEye, that was really silly. That's why everyone loves it.
I know the old Bond movies. Some of them are, most of them, are
Yeah.
really
Oh
silly.
yeah, I mean the GoldenEye game as well.
Oh, GoldenEye game, yeah, sure, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the movies as well, obviously. The old.
I remember playing a game. It was on the GameCube. It was a Bond. It was some Bond game.
Hmm.
I think it was Oh, I'm going to Google this.
Was it GoldenEye?
Um,
We played GoldenEye all the time at uni with the really janky Wii controls. It was hilarious.
oh, it was From Russia with Love. Uh,
Oh,
and I just played that game around my friend's house all the time. And it was a split screen um, deathmatch mode. And you, it was like, you could play as a range of different Bond heroes and villains.
yeah,
But the villains were so much cooler, and
yeah,
they were there was no balance. Like if you played as Oddjob, he is he was small
yeah.
and he has a hat which he can throw,
This
which
is.
is an instant kill.
Are you sure this wasn't GoldenEye? Because
No,
that's what happens in GoldenEye as well.
I've never played GoldenEye.
Oh man, that's really funny they did that again. Because yeah, that's what everyone always says about GoldenEye. It's so broken.
Mm,
Because especially on the Wii, it's so hard to aim up and down. So if you pick Odd Job,
brilliant.
it's you turn around and you just can't hit him.
That is so funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I hope they make this new one just really silly and stupid like that. That'd be great.
There is a final piece of news.
Yeah,
Um, the Cyberpunk Night City Wire episode 5
yeah.
aired last night. We watched it. We got a video
Watched
on
it.
it.
Check out
And
check out the video.
at the end of that, they said, "Hey, there's going to be some previews out for the
Yeah, they
game,"
did.
and there were, and I read them. Have you read the previews?
I haven't. I saw them earlier, but I didn't click on them.
It is very, very positive and exciting.
That's very good
They were
stuff.
given 16 hours to play the
Yeah,
game, and
that's
the consensus is that the game is a very slow paced, slow burner. They
yeah,
said that you could feasibly, in that 16 hours, not actually, other than like a few scripted things at the beginning, you can
yeah.
feasibly not shoot a single person and make progression in the game.
That's very exciting
So
choice.
cool.
No, yeah, that's what I want. I'm more looking forward to just like living in the city than I am
Yep.
to going around shooting people and stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at news articles and headlines, and they're all saying very positive stuff. I could spend the first 16 hours in the character creator, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've have you so I've kind of honed in on who I want to be. Have you decided kind of have you got an idea of who you want to be?
I haven't. I mean, I want to. I'm obviously thinking I'm going to be a stealthier person because I just
Mhm.
always prefer that. But I haven't. I'm just gonna, open up the game and see what I'm
Sure.
presented with and see what I feel like at the time.
Ultimately, that's probably what I'm going to do. But
Yeah.
at the
What are you
moment,
thinking at the moment?
well, from that the gameplay trailers they released last night,
Mm,
um, I now there's a dedicated handgun tree,
mm.
and now I'm thinking I want to use handguns only as a
I want to be
weapon.
the pistol man.
I want to be I want to be a net runner. I
Yeah.
want to have a long black cloak. I basically want to be Neo. I don't want to have any machine gun nonsense. I want to have a pistol and I want to be hacking things all the time,
There's going to be two Keanu Reeves running around.
right?
I wonder if you
That
can make your character look exactly like Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely can't.
That would be really funny.
The only reason is because they mocap his face.
Oh yeah.
But I'm very very intrigued to see how good the character creator is. I
Yeah.
I hope that you're able to make like a really unique face and it's not
Yeah.
just a load of presets.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm very excited for that specifically.
In these sort of games, I don't bother even attempting to make it look like me because I'm not good enough at that. Um,
I,
but
I try sometimes, it never works.
I've told you before, but our good mutual friend Jack
Hmm.
um, is very talented
He's
and
really good at that.
his character model always looks just like him, and it's just uncanny.
So funny. That's really hilarious.
That's that. That's news.
Yeah, that's that segment. Other news is the PS5 was released. No one can get one, and every website went down.
Yeah.
But,
Well, if you didn't pre-order it, I don't know. I feel like
yeah, you shouldn't expect to get
what
one
were you
this soon.
expecting?
Black Friday, they're going to be more stock, and it's going to be another nightmare.
I just think it's such a hotly anticipated product. Like if you
Yeah,
wanted it day one,
especially because lockdown, everyone's just inside playing video games.
I can't remember the statistics, but the video game industry has had one of the best years ever. I
Yeah, I
believe.
bet.
I think it actually might be the best year.
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
yeah, to be expected. Right, what should we do first? Games, movies, TV shows? What are you thinking, Jamie? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I've indulged myself with that Capcom list because I thought that was very fun.
You
Um,
did do a lot
so
of indulgence.
so you go ahead and talk about what you've been watching.
So, first of all, I uh, I think I mentioned last time that I started watching Better Call Saul. I think I was
Yes.
pretty early on in the series at that point.
Hmm.
I've now finished the season. Well, I finished up to season 5, so I've caught up. Season 6 will come out at some point in the future, hopefully. And I really loved it. I think it's such a good TV show. I love every single character. I'm extremely nervous for characters that aren't in Breaking Bad. I don't know if they're going to die or just disappear. And it's all really great stuff.
What do you think about season five?
I really enjoyed season 5. It felt like it picked up a lot and merged the Mike. It always felt kind of like 2 or 3 parts. You had the Jimmy Law side, and then like the Mike and Nacho crime side, and
Mhm.
now they're kind of merging together, obviously, because you have to get to that finale where fully goes into crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you could tell that was coming. There was a lot more tension and violence and gunfights and stuff. There was also some cool lawyer action, some that
Yes.
I kind of wish we had more of.
Mhm.
Like, there's a scene where he's defending a guy, and this woman's like, "Yeah, oh no, it's a male witness. Not that that affects anything." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely the guy." And then he's like, "Ah, but this isn't my defendant. My defendant's at the back of the
Yeah.
room. So
It's
you're
so
clearly
good.
unreliable because you don't know what the defendant looks like."
Yep.
And it's just like fun, barely legal lawyering that you'd expect from Saul. So I hope we see more of that in season 6.
See, no, I love that. I love that, and
Yeah,
I love the little bits they do. Like you worded it, lawyer action. I like
yeah,
it,
it's
but
great.
I can't. I did feel like season five wasn't enough
Do you think?
plot progression for me.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't feel like that.
I I'm at a point where I really want the show to end now. I want this. I really want the next season to be the last one.
Season 6 is the last one.
Yeah, it needs to be. I think there were long there were the thing is like
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Mm,
The whole show's I'm not every minute of that is fantastic quality and blah blah blah.
mm,
But there are a few times in season five where you have like this 20-30 minute scene,
mm.
something of was that really necessary? Like
Oh man, I never feel like that,
okay,
because it's always quite a slow burn, and I like that sometimes it just lets things breathe a bit. I don't know, it always just makes it feel more grounded to me. Like everything like takes time and has consequences, and everything's explained, which I suppose might be, I don't know, some people might find that too slow.
I find that Breaking Bad did that without
Oh yeah.
feeling like it was taking too long, though.
Oh, I don't know.
Like Breaking Bad, I think had a good balance, whereas I think Better Call Saul, there's overall less storytelling than there was in Breaking Bad.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I binged Better Call Saul, but
Maybe.
when I first watched Breaking Bad, I actually felt like that more about Breaking Bad.
Hmm.
Especially in like season 1 and 2, there were times when it felt too slow for me to enjoy. Obviously, watching it again, it's like, yeah, this is a masterpiece. But yeah, interesting. I
God,
really
Breaking Bad.
enjoy
What
going
Breaking Bad
on.
actually is a masterpiece. It's so
Oh yeah,
good.
but I think that's why I just love Better Call Saul so much. Is it
Yeah.
holds up so well. Like, how can you spin off Breaking Bad and it's this good? I remember there were people saying, like, imagine if Better Call Saul came out first, and then they announced they were going to do a sequel series called Breaking Bad about a cancer-ridden chemistry teacher who starts dealing drugs and he kills off Mike and Gus and all this stuff. Like, oh, you'd hate that if it was announced that way around.
That is so true. Can
Yeah.
you imagine how annoying that would be? Like,
Yeah, oh, who's this random
why?
old man?
Yeah, yeah. That is so funny. Yeah, you're right.
Which I think is a real testament to how good it is. No, that's fair though. I mean, if you're going to criticize it for anything, I think it being slow is like the only thing really that you could have an issue with. Like everything else is just so good.
It's frustrating because I like the slow bits. I know that it's good. I'm not,
Mm,
but sometimes if you're watching it as it comes out, one
mhm.
episode a week, and it's like, oh, come on, nothing happened in that episode. Nothing happened. It's a bit
Yeah,
frustrating. And you have to
yeah.
wait a whole week.
I do very much enjoy going on the like episode discussion threads online
Yeah,
afterwards,
yeah,
like
yeah.
on Reddit and stuff. It's just so it's I mean it's so well written. The way they
Amazingly.
tie things into Breaking Bad. Like Lalo and Nacho were mentioned once in Breaking Bad in a
Yeah,
passing comment by Saul,
yeah.
and now they're like these fully fledged, fleshed out characters.
It's
It's so
fantastic.
good.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
Also, that confirms that Saul does not know that Lalo, like what happens to Lalo. Like if he dies, which
Yeah.
I think he dies, but if he dies, Saul does not know that because in
I mean,
Breaking
this
Bad
is
he thinks he's still alive.
potential spoilers for Better Call Saul based on something that was said in Breaking Bad. But do you know what line it was in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, it's when Walt and Jesse are
Kidnap him.
yeah
Yeah.
um
And he says, "Did Lalo send you? It
yeah.
wasn't me, I swear. It was Ignacio."
But I think it's fair enough. I think it's pretty. I don't know. I think they run into some issues if they don't kill him because he's clearly either they kill him or
Mm,
they put him in a predicament so poor that he is no way ever going to return to Mexico slash Texas ever again.
yeah.
There's no way. Otherwise, why isn't he in Breaking Bad?
Yeah. It's
He
interesting.
must be dead. And
I
so
mean, it feels like Nacho has to kill him,
I think he will.
maybe. I'm getting increasingly hopeful that Kim survives. I feel like uh, Jimmy's gonna send Kim to the Hoover Man, and that's how he first meets him, and she's gonna have to escape with a new identity.
Yes, that makes so
Because
much sense.
I just
Yes.
can't see Kim dying,
I don't think Kim dies.
and then 3 or 4 years later, Saul is still doing what he's doing, being all like cheery. It just doesn't
You're
feel like he could carry on being Saul if Kim died.
no, no. I had the exact same thought process. It makes you feel a bit gross about the whole thing. Like we know that Saul actually he wouldn't be like that with her. Like he genuinely loves her. Like there's
Mm,
no he's not going to be slimy in that
mm,
way. Like he's slimy in other ways, but he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't go back to being Saul if him being Saul got her killed.
yeah.
I don't think he would anyway. Um,
I don't think so.
I think
See what happens eventually.
I think it's perfectly possible. No, you're right. He needs to meet the Hoover Man at some point. He needs to meet the Hoover Man because that hasn't happened yet,
Yeah.
and
Well,
there's no reason why he would have met the Hoover Man yet.
yeah, and everything's so like meticulously explained.
Yes.
There was the one flash forward scene. Do you remember that took place after Breaking Bad? It showed Saul and
Oh
Francesca.
yeah, the one. Yeah.
Yeah, only one. Well, other than the black and
Yeah.
white
Yeah. Yeah.
gene scenes, flash forward to him being Saul just after Breaking Bad. They're shredding documents, and he says to Francesca, November 12th at 9 p.m. You have to be in the phone booth. You have to pick up the phone. Someone pointed out that November 12th that year would be his 50th birthday. So maybe he's going to be talking to Kim from the phone booth and they've got an arrangement where they can still speak on the phone like once a year.
Shit.
I don't know.
I think. Yeah. Well, that scene doesn't actually take place after Breaking Bad. That takes place during.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Which
After it's all kicked
I
off.
wonder. Yeah. There's no way that they have a falling out because it's very clear that she is far gone. She is
She's flipping
completely,
Kimmy.
yeah, she's completely on that side now.
Almost worse than him now.
Yep.
Poor Howard. Howard needs not even redemption.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
he's redeemed himself.
I know. I know.
I want something good to happen to Howard. I love all the characters. Nacho, Kim, Howard, they're all great.
I know. Howard is just, he's just, I don't know,
He's such
a
a good
normal, he's just like
character.
a normal guy. He's not,
Yeah, 'cause you start off
he,
hating him because he seems like a kind of sleazy big time
yeah,
lawyer. But it's like, oh, he's just kind of a normal guy. Wants to
he
prove
has good
himself.
things. He has bad things. He's not like good or evil. He's just kind of a
Yeah,
normal bloke.
and even the
Uh,
bad things he does, he always is pretty justified.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just really like Howard.
Yeah,
Yeah, does a
I think
great job.
it's very difficult to like the good guys. Like Saul and Kim are they're not actually good people anymore.
Yeah, I mean the main times I've heavily disliked them is when they mess with Howard,
Yeah,
like throwing bowling balls at his car. Yeah, I mean all the actors do such a
yeah. I mean, what
job.
happened to Chuck as well is
Yeah,
he was awful,
yeah.
but clearly what happened to him at the end was not that he didn't deserve that.
No, I mean, he's just a mentally ill old man at the end of the
Exactly.
day. Yeah, I mean, even he's a great character. You just love to hate him.
Yeah,
And just very interesting.
he has got to be one of the most complex you can't call him, I guess, antagonists. He's probably
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
most complex antagonists that I've ever
Mm,
seen. There's so you just can't. He's kind of, I guess, just on the border of being a bad guy in the story,
yeah,
but like,
yeah.
man,
I'd say he
he's
is.
such a great.
They always do a great job at justifying all of his actions and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
funny. It's like he wants to be more like Jimmy, and Jimmy wants to be more like
Mhm.
him. Like the
Yep.
scene where Jimmy's having dinner with Chuck and his wife, and he's telling all the jokes, and she thinks they're really funny, and then Chuck tries to tell him one, and she doesn't get it,
Yep.
and you can see he gets really upset. And then Jimmy's kind of the same, where he entered law basically to impress Kim, also to be more like Chuck.
Yep.
It's really cool. I think Kim as well gets better and better. Rhea Seehorn has like better and better scenes as Kim, and she's just such a good actor.
Yeah.
And Bob Odenkirk, all of them.
Yeah. Everything's really good.
Great to see more of Gus. Great to see more of Mike. Love it all. Should we swiftly move on before we end up talking about Better Call Saul for an hour?
Yes, do it. What's next on the table?
I've been watching one other TV show.
Go on. What is it?
It's a little bitty called The Mandalorian.
I haven't
I'm
seen it.
really catching up on that TV.
You are.
Have you seen all of The Mandalorian?
I've seen none of it.
Oh, you haven't seen any of it?
No,
For some reason, I thought you had.
nope.
Well, I started watching it. I managed to talk my girlfriend into watching it purely for Baby Yoda, which she's loving. It is such a good TV show. And after watching Better Call Saul, it's such a relief because it's so much less stressful.
It's I can imagine it's a lot more basic.
Oh, it's just so fun, and
Yeah,
it perfectly captures the essence of the original Star Wars films. It's just a space western. It's
that's
just
very
it's
cool.
just a western. There's a bit where like he's getting shot at by bounty hunters, and he jumps in a little like hover car and holds a gun up to the like R2 droid unit, and is like drive, and it's like he's in a wagon holding a driver at gunpoint, being shot by bounty hunters. Like it's just pure western.
That is so funny.
It's really good, and every episode has its own sort of. It feels like every episode's its own sort of mini adventure, surrounded by the whole story. So the second one, his ship gets torn up by Jawas, and he has to trade with the Jawas to get his stuff back. And then they ask him to go and retrieve an egg. So good, and it's like he collects bounties, and then he trades in his payment for better armor and weapons and stuff. It's like it just feels like watching a video game, but it's so good.
Yeah, I should definitely watch this. Wow. Okay.
It's really really good. It's really fun. It's got really good cast. Like Taika Waititi's briefly in one. Obviously, Pedro Pascal's the main character. Um, yeah, it's just really good. It feels like such a good Star Wars experience. It's honestly probably my favorite Star Wars media since the original trilogy, and I'm
I
only like
that
four
doesn't surprise
episodes
me in
in.
the slightest.
What do you
It's
say?
it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it looks awesome, and I don't know. Star Wars is just a criminally underutilized franchise
Yeah,
in terms of when I say underutilized, I mean that's probably the wrong word, but I mean like
I I think that works. Like,
there's so much that they could do with it.
yeah, and they don't.
No,
It's like it's a they need to tell more just intimate stories that are randomly dotted around because it's this
hey,
whole huge
they've
universe.
they've
Obviously, there's a
got
lot of
that.
expanded universe content
Well,
that's
they're doing
fun.
it literally start a Star Wars story Rogue One, right? It's called that,
Mm,
isn't it? And that is the best movie. It's
yeah,
so good.
but while I did really enjoy Rogue One, even that ties into the whole like Empire etc. story. But what's so great about the Mandalorian is that it's quite heavily removed from that.
Yeah,
Like there's stormtroopers in it, and they're just kind of like what's the word, like mercenaries for hire because the empire's fallen apart. So just like rogue stormtroopers.
I
Like
want to
it's
see more of that. I want to see.
really good.
I don't know. There's so much they could do. Like I
Mm,
want to see like more examples of just I don't know. Like they hinted at it at the beginning of Han Solo, which I didn't like that movie,
mm,
but would they had just an empire occupied planet, like
mm.
occupied planet, like
Yeah,
the the empire do more than just fly around in big ships.
yeah.
Yeah, they're an empire.
And there's like
They have planets that are under their control. That's what they do. But they don't show that in the movies. They just show big ships all the time.
one shot of Han Solo fighting in the war for the Empire.
Yeah.
It's like I want to see so much more of this.
And it's sick. That is such an awesome scene. Yeah.
It's a good concept. Yeah,
It
they need to do
is.
more of that. I mean, this is the funny thing about this show is it's just like watching John Favreau playing with action figures, getting so excited.
That's really
It's just
fun.
like, and then five more Boba Fett's fly in, and they shoot all the stormtroopers. It's great.
That is so sick.
Yeah, yeah, definitely watch it. It's really good. Um, yeah, it's just a really fun show. Baby Yoda's great. The Mandalorian's great. There's great lore. It's good stuff.
So,
What have you been watching, Jamie?
well, I'm gonna actually skip to what I've been playing
We'll go for
because
it.
I'll very briefly. I finished Queen's Gambit,
Oh yeah,
which was just yeah, that was good. That was solid. I liked
I
it.
thought that was a really phenomenal show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's it in terms of actual new stuff. I mean,
Fair.
I've started watching Fellowship of the Ring again,
Yeah,
extended edition, which is a 4 hour movie, and
I don't think I've ever done that actually.
I'm currently up to. I've watched the extended edition
Maybe
like
I did at uni.
four
I can't
times, I
remember.
think. Um,
Man,
I've watched Lord of the Rings so many times. I
yeah,
absolutely adore it.
yeah.
um, and then I'm now up to Guardians of the Galaxy on my Marvel rewatch.
Marvel Watch.
Um,
Jamie, can I
yeah,
quickly mention something very random and unrelated that we don't usually talk about?
go on.
The Great British Bake Off.
I am also watching that.
You're up to date, right?
I am up to date. Yeah.
Right,
Oh
spoilers for
yeah,
anyone
we
who hasn't
briefly mentioned that yesterday.
seen. There is, if you don't know, there is currently bigger controversy surrounding the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, basically one of the main characters should have been killed off last episode.
Essentially it. One of the
Big time.
contestants was kept into the final. Absolute hogwash.
She's she's like worse than loads of people that have already been gone out.
Yeah,
There's like several people before her who are better. It's so
justice for
unfair.
Lottie. Lottie should have been kept in.
Well, I wanted her kept in because she was hilarious, but
Yeah.
I mean, she was never going to win it.
Oh, she could have got at least this far, I reckon. And Mark was good. It was sad he had a bad episode.
No, I think it's shocking,
I'm
but
glad Peter's through.
I want him to win.
I want Peter to win.
I I think I think he's quite obviously the best, but also I
He's
would
the most
definitely
fun.
watch. I would so watch a TV show of him in it.
Yeah, I reckon a
He's
few of them will.
he's just I don't know. He's pretty cool, pretty chill.
The thing I feel bad about for Laura is she's like a nice person. She's pretty funny, but now everyone's turning on her because they keep putting her through.
And what's sad is that she obviously this happened in the summer, so she's now watching all these people turn on
Oh
her, and
man!
she. I mean, imagine if she wins.
Oh God!
She's just sitting there like, well, if they don't like me now,
Well, yeah. God, imagine that every week being like, oh my God, they wanted me out at this point.
yeah. Oh,
Poor woman. But
I
yeah,
don't.
I'm sure she's doing fine. She got to at
They
least
put a
make the
lot of
final.
emphasis on the final round, as in the you know the what's it called the
The showstopper.
yeah. They basically judge it entirely on that. Like
Yeah,
I feel like the
and
rest of the
disregard
show
everything
is just
else.
entertainment and it's nothing else in terms of
Mm,
the actual competition.
mm.
Very weird.
Yeah, it heavily feels like that lately. I just thought I'd bring that up. We'll see what happens next week. We
That was
can
definitely
return to
worth
this
bringing up.
discussion.
I just want to talk briefly,
Go
games wise,
for it.
about two things.
Yeah.
First thing I won't dwell on, because it's an old game.
Okay.
But I've just finished the first Final Fantasy 14 expansion.
Okay.
It was extremely good.
Very
Uh,
nice.
it I've just very just started the second expansion,
Mm.
which came out in 2016. So I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting up to modern day,
Slowly
um,
but surely.
and yeah, I mean it's interesting having knowledge of what the expansion that came out last year.
Mm.
Um, I know roughly what that is about.
Yeah.
Um, you can't avoid it, all the marketing and stuff. And
Yeah.
they put hints towards the third expansion way back. Like you can tell how crazy it would have been for people who have played the game since it came out
Mm.
to get to expansion 3 and then be like, no, they brought that character back from 6 years ago, and so it has less impact because obviously you can see exactly what they're laying the seeds for.
Yeah.
Um, but it's very cool. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
It's annoying stuff like that. It's like I can never have that experience.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It makes me think. yeah, the next time there's an MMO which looks like decent, I think
Mm,
I'll hop on.
yeah,
Uh, but I mean, my hope is I'll be able to finish all the content before next summer, which is when the next expansion is going to come out.
fair.
Um,
That'd be good.
and then I'll be up to date.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've never been up to date on an MMO. Very sad.
See, I have when I was a kid, I played a game called Three Realms. Do you remember Three Realms?
Name rings a bell.
Made by Sony Interactive,
Oh, okay, I've heard of them.
and uh, that was the. It was a very simple, like kiddie MMO, and I really enjoyed it. And
Oh, it looks pretty funky.
there was like there were like different areas off into the distance of like different, like, clearly we're going to be expansions,
Yeah,
and there were constantly rumors about, oh yeah, this is going to be added soon, this is going to be added soon. They had classes, right, which
yeah,
you'd get to like level 15 and it would say, oh, go here, and you couldn't go here because here hadn't been added into the game yet. And so it was like, okay, well, they're going to add that obviously soon,
yeah.
and then their servers shut.
That's really sad. Actually, looks pretty cool as well. It just looks like you know,
It was
my
fun.
first World of Warcraft.
It is basically my first World of Warcraft.
It's
Yeah,
got pixie wood. When is Free Roams coming back? Is the top Wikipedia suggestion.
that is so sad.
Sorry, Google suggestion. People still want to know. It died in 2014.
So I'd stopped playing it like years before the server shut, but
Yeah.
basically I was playing it for like, I don't know, probably a year, and
Mm.
then I stopped because I was bored because they didn't add anything. They were just kind of done. And
Man.
that whole, the last quarter of that year I was playing it,
Mm.
it was kind of the rumors were going, like, oh yeah, they're going to add a new thing. Stop playing it. I kept checking back every year just purely out of interest,
Mm.
and yeah, they never added any new content. So
That's really
there was no
sad.
wonder that it died.
Oh man. It is sad stuff like that. It'd be really cool to play an MMO kind of as it's happening with people.
Yeah,
Maybe one day we
I'm.
could do that.
I would love to play an MMO with you, um,
Yeah.
one that is is new and happening at the time.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like I want to get up to date with Final Fantasy, but there's zero chance of any of my friends ever being
Get to that
there
point.
with me. I'm
Yeah.
215 hours into that game, and I've just finished expansion one.
Mm.
That's mad. That's that's
Yeah.
absolutely mad.
That is pretty crazy.
And the reason why is because it's what, at this point, like 4 years of content that I've played through.
Yeah.
So of course,
Yeah,
of
sorry, I don't think I'm
course,
going to catch up to you there.
no. Um,
Right, anyway, sorry. That was supposed to be a quick one, and I derailed us.
the other game is a game that arrived today,
Mm.
which is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
Oh, yes. Of
Um,
course.
so I've been playing that a little bit this afternoon,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Enjoying yourself.
it's a lot of fun. It's not gonna like blow your socks off or
Yeah.
anything. It's it's just like kind of uh
Action.
mindless Zelda fan service, really.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild fan service,
Mm.
and um knowing what,
Need to fill the gap.
yeah, it's kind of like it'll keep me going for a bit. It's a huge game, actually. There's actually way more to it than you'd expect.
That's good.
um but it's kind of that I'm excited to see what characters they're going to throw. I think the appeal of the game, of all of these Dynasty Warrior spin-off games,
Yeah.
is the stupid number of characters that they managed to throw in.
Yeah.
um like, I know in the original Hyrule Warriors, it was absurd. Like it was basically every single Zelda character you can possibly imagine is in this game. So
Mm,
for the Breath of the Wild specific one,
mm,
I'm expecting some really obscure, like I don't know, you get to play as a guardian or something stupid. Like you just
yeah.
they just do
So,
something really nutty.
some slug that you run into on a mountain at some point.
Yeah, because there's no at the moment you could play the ones I know of. You could
Mm,
play as Zelda, Link, Impa, who you see as an old woman in
yeah.
Breath of the Wild, but then she's younger in this game.
Mm,
Um, and the four champions.
yeah.
But I know for a fact that there's more than that. Uh, but of
Did you
course,
get
I'm not googling who. I want to have the surprise.
yeah, you don't want the spoilers. Do you get do you get sort of Better Call Saul sadness when you realise all these beloved characters are gonna die?
No, because it's I haven't finished it, but I basically know for a fact, really, based on people's reactions, it takes place in an alternate timeline.
Oh.
The
Oh,
game
it's
starts
where they
off with
prevent the calamity.
yeah, so it starts off with
You
time
told me
travel,
this.
and it splits the timeline in half.
Yeah, I think you did
Uh,
tell me that, to be fair.
so yeah, they actually it's a completely the best way of thinking about it is more just a um it's a Zelda spin-off. Just think of it as a fun Zelda spin-off
Mm,
where you get to play as all the characters that you
that is
see.
very fun. Still set in the Hyrule in the Breath of the Wild world.
It's very cool. It's very authentic.
Yeah,
All the
it's very
sound
cool.
effects are the same. The artwork all looks very similar. It's very authentic.
Very good stuff. That's all.
They've obviously just been given like everything, like all
All
the
the
assets.
assets. Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, I mean, just mess up the Zelda timeline even more.
Yeah,
Big
I mean, Breath of the Wild
old
was
web at this point.
basically every timeline smushed into one because there are
Yeah,
references to all the games.
yeah,
But
you've got to love it.
Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild 2 hype.
Oh,
Very
that
excited for that.
2023.
Let's not. I kind of still think it's going to come out next year.
I wonder if it'll be delayed.
Well, all Zelda games are delayed.
Yeah.
But at some point, the Switch 2 will be close to coming out. I mean, how the Switch is what, 4 years old now?
God, I wonder. Do you think they're going to just release the Switch too?
It, I think they have no choice to release it. I mean, so the Switch came out through like kind of about 2.5. Sorry, nearly basically 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Uh, I can see them doing. I definitely think they're going to release a Switch Pro.
Hmm.
I think Switch games look fine, but Hyrule Warriors it runs like shit.
Yeah. We've had the Switch Lite.
Yeah, I think a Switch Pro is happening.
I think they're going to release the Switch U
They're probably going to call it something stupid, aren't they?
and market it awfully so people don't know what it is.
Or they call it the Switch.
The Swatch.
Well, we've talked about Switch Pro before, but like, yeah, it just makes sense because um, Hyrule Warriors mostly runs at 30 FPS, but the
Yeah.
first level where you're in Hyrule Field and there's lots of grass, it frequently dips to like 5 FPS,
Yeah, it's a bad
and
start.
it's not HD. It's like 650p.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
games are getting more powerful. We need to bump up the hardware somewhat.
it's not even. I don't even mind. Like, I don't. It doesn't need to be. I do not. I don't care
Mm.
about it being like a PlayStation 4 level or anything. Just
Yeah.
needs to be. It needs to be like a little bit, like a little bump, like just enough for it to not look like total crap. Which some games do
Yeah.
actually look horrible.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe soon.
It could happen next year.
It could. According to this article, it's looking like Hyrule. No, sorry, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out 2021.
Oh,
It's all speculation.
God, that'd be so good if it came out then. Imagine that. Cyberpunk coming out this year. Next year, Zelda. That is a
I'd be pretty high.
spicy.
Spicy meatball.
So we're going to end this podcast because it's the end, but we
Yeah.
neglected to talk about the Game Award nominations, which have been shown. But we can talk about that next time.
There's too much.
The only thing about that is that there's Half-Life Alex isn't in that, which is controversial. But
Oh, okay.
we have run out of time.
We have. That's all we have time for, folks. That's all.
So thank you for getting to the end of this podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a subscription and try and if you want to follow us, leave a like.
Yep.
If you're on Spotify, just keep watching.
Listen to other things. If you made it this far, leave a comment below that says Jamie is a big, smelly, stinky pants.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.